wife and I actually tried dating before we actually really were in a serious relationship, and the timing was off. And in my mind, I thought, okay, well, if it's not now, it's never. But let me tell you how God completely changed my beliefs. And when He told me it was time to marry my wife, because we originally met in 2021, I was out country dancing and we caught each other's attention. And I'll be honest, from the get-go, as expected, because we're married now, right? But we had a very strong connection that was just really natural. I didn't have to think about what to say. You know, I'm very introverted, and our puns and silly jokes and just the way we laugh at things and snort, I mean, we were hitting it off right away. All good things. And of course, we are both very attracted to each other, and we still are. But God was also trying to show me that it was not the right time. And even though I had this checklist of what I'm looking for, one of my misconceptions also was that if I meet someone and the time is not now, the time is never. Me being an engineer, I thought, okay, we got to go, go, go. You know, we're both older now, and are you in or are you not, right? Have you been there? You tell me in the comments if you have. But ultimately, I didn't want to waste my time. And after a few dates, I started seeing certain things that may have suggested something was off. Not anything personality related with my wife, but more of, hey, maybe there are other external things that are happening in her life and mine where we need to have a discussion. And it was hard because you're told to hold your cards to your chest when you first meet someone, right? You don't want to word vomit and spill out all your feelings, but at the same time, it's good to know if someone is for you. And that's why 1 John chapter 4, verse 1 is so important, where we need to test someone's spirits. And so a few dates in, and I finally had a very awkward but necessary conversation on the phone with my soon-to-be wife. And I told her, hey, on the dates, you know, everything's been great, but I noticed certain things, X, Y, and Z. The details don't matter for this video. But ultimately what it did was it kind of signaled to the both of us that now is not the time. And so I really struggled for several months because in my mind, when a connection's established, I have a hard time letting it go. And so after several months, I finally thought, okay, that's what it was. It wasn't meant to be anything else, and let's just move on. But then we kept crossing paths when I would go out country dancing, and me having felt hurt before that it didn't work out, I was just keeping my guard up. And a few times here and there we would say, hi, how are you, etc. But I didn't think anything more of it. I thought, okay, God closed that door and it was not meant to happen. Well, fast forward a year where now she dated some other people and I did the same. And not only that, what's more important is she had time with the Lord and I did, where we had to go through some difficult situations, some heartbreak separately. And God was using that for both of us, even though we weren't in a relationship. And that's why God sometimes will be keeping you single. It might feel like He's holding out the blessings or we've blown it, but God knows what He's doing. And you have to trust Jeremiah 29:11. Because for our good and because of the plans He knows, sometimes being single is a gift that we often overlook and we think there's something wrong with us. And it's actually God saying, hey, pay attention to me. You want that blessing, you want that marriage. I want you to walk with me first, and I want to build you up so you can bring your best through me to your marriage. That way, a cord of three is not easily broken. And we see that in Ecclesiastes as a verse, right? So fast forward a year, and we ran into each other yet again, and something was different. Instead of feeling like the interaction was going to be led with attraction and chemistry, something in the pit of my soul, even though I had tried, you know, doing my own thing, country dancing, and I tried staying away from my wife, not that there was an issue, but I didn't want to potentially fall into a trap of pursuing her when I thought it was over. Well, I felt this overwhelming thing in my soul that said, go talk to her. And I could just pick up that she had gone through something recently. And as we were talking, it became clear that not only did she say she's not looking to date anybody anymore, and I said the same thing. Here, I used to always be chasing relationships, and I got to that season too through Christ, where Christ was using that year in between to tell me that I was putting these relationships on a pedestal and thinking, I got to find a girl, I got to find a girl. And really what came to be was God was really wanting me to focus on Him. And so now we were both in a different mindset where we had our faith and we had built it up through Christ separately. And now that we weren't looking for a relationship, this created space for the Holy Spirit to finally move. And so she asked me to get coffee. And me being very black and white, I thought, okay, well, it didn't work out before. Why am I going to go on coffee now? I mean, does that mean anything? So at first I was trying to downplay it and I prayed about it. And that's what God wanted, because a year ago when we first met, I wasn't leading with prayer. I was leading with attraction, and so was she. And this time around, I was actually asking God, should I go on that coffee date? And so I thought, okay, you know, why not? Lord, what could be the worst that can happen, right? And the rest is history. That coffee date became not just coffee with friends, but starting the foundation of a new relationship the right way. And then what really got me to finally propose, because here I thought I would just date with no intention of marriage, right? Because can you blame us guys in 2026? It's hard today, right? Marriage seems like a bad idea, but that's only if you're looking at it from a worldly perspective, because the world wants you to look at it as a business contract, or it's bad for men. And sure, that can be true if you're dating modern women, if you have a worldly view on marriage, and if you're not vetting someone and making sure they are God sent before putting a ring on it, absolutely. But I remember watching a YouTuber while I was at the gym, and he had said, if you are dating her and you have no intent of marrying her, you are wasting her time and yours. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. And so I went to the Holy Spirit and I just poured it out to him, and he told me to proceed. And, 2 years into marriage almost, and we are extremely happy. And more importantly, it's not about just feelings, right? But it's a marriage that is built on Christ as a rock. That's Matthew 7:25. And so I hope this video was encouraging, that even when you're going through a single season, it may not be the end of a blessing. It might be the beginning of something spectacular.